this is Nick, and this is the third experiment of worm training. And we are gonna put the worm back in his original spot, and we are gonna put the apple on the other side to see if he can sniff it out. And to mention, his name is Dondre, because I have come to the point where I have to name him.
Okay. And we had already began the experiment. We started at 7:54. It is now 7:58. And as you can see, Nikilas moved the apple from that side to this side, and the worm is already this far along in the maze. Which way do you think he will go, Nick? Do you think he will go the way we've been conditioning him to go, or do you think he's going to follow the apple?
I think that 50% he might go to the other side where we usually had the apple.
You only think 50% though? You think it's a half and half?
I think 95% that he's going to go to what we want him to go to.
Wait a minute there. You can only have 100%. So if it's a 50% chance, then 50 and 50 is 100. You can't have 95 and 50. Because that's a lot more than 100, right? So
50-50.
You really think it's 50-50?
Yes.
Okay.
He moves fast for disabled worm.
Yeah, the last two experiments, he was a whole, intact, healthy, fresh worm. And prior to the last experiment, our cat Solo bit off half of his body. So we have a very disabled worm here, but he's doing well.
Like we said in episode 2.
He's a pretty resilient guy.
Yep.
Well, the last video we made of the final experiment where we tricked the worm, it did kind of trick him a little bit. He stood right here for a little while sniffing the air, and then he finally burrowed underground and came up right there. You can see his tail right there. And so I think the conditioning was working. We conditioned him to go to this side via the prior experiments. And then when we tricked him and put the apple over there, he stood right there for a while and just got very, very confused. So
this is our third experiment, and
do you feel you were successful at training a worm?
yes.
Because once he knew where the apple was, he kept going there, right? And this time, it took him 4 times as long to get to the apple because he stood in the middle and thought about it for a while. So your experiment worked. Very good.